I'm Clara, I'm 25-year-old, I'm Spanish, but I'm currently living in Paris working at L'Oréal as International Product Manager. So my job, I'd say that I do have two different parts. On the one hand, I really do the development of the product themselves. So as I'm working on fragrance, what I do is choosing the new pack, the new color of the pack, the face of the influencer, for instance, that is going to work with the fragrance, and the juice, the scent that at the end of the day, young girls are going to spray on themselves. And on the other hand, what I do also is working on all the concept behind, for instance, the campaigns of summer, Valentine's Day, or Christmas. I'd say it's a bit tricky because I do love all what I do, and every day it's super different, super dynamic, and super fun. But if I had to choose one thing, I'd say that is the creativity that I'm able to express every day, because at the end there's no limit. I need to create and to come up with new concepts super often, so I need to really look for what young generations are interested on, for what younger girls are looking at, and how to make it also super casual, super young, and super attractive to younger generations. So when I was young, actually, I used to play, instead of playing kitchen or playing, I don't know, with my dolls to be a teacher, as my friends used to do, I had like a perfumery. And I used to play with my young sister, with my friends, to sew the miniature fragrances that my mom used to buy or bring me from hotels, whatever thing. So yes, somehow I can say that it was really my dream job. I never dreamed on developing the fragrance itself, but now when I look back, I project myself completely, because since I was 7 years old, I was dreaming on fragrances. It's quite interesting because I did business administration and law, so nothing to do really with this focused into fragrance industry, super marketing oriented. I wanted to do something to open really all the doors, and at the end of the day, I really told myself at the day I needed to look for a job that I wanted to follow my dream, and somehow no one is gonna do it for me. So I had to be the one, and that's why I decided to come to Paris to do my master's. And since then, I really applied to L'Oréal once and again, because I was really writing everyone on LinkedIn, reaching people until I got it. And yeah, that's it. At the beginning, for instance, I was hesitating whether to do fashion or beauty. And I started actually before working at L'Oréal in the fashion industry, and I realized that it was way less creative than what I was expecting. So it was more numbers-oriented, data-focused, and more into the customer. And the creative part of the fashion industry is really based on the designer. So I told myself that if I wanted to do really to be customer-centric, creative, and also have this analyst part that I like, it was the beauty industry, the one filling all my criteria somehow. And that's at the end how I jumped into beauty. I shifted jobs during my path because, as I was saying, somehow I really wanted to do fashion because I thought it was the most creative field out there. So I started in fashion in Spain, in Massimo Dutti, so for Inditex, huge group. And actually I came to Paris to do my master's focused on fashion luxury management. And there we did a business case, and I realized that at the end, when I was comparing the business case that I was doing on fashion industry with Dior, Vuitton, etc., they were way more analyst and database versus the business cases we were doing with Shiseido or L'Oréal, for instance, that were super creative, super into the product, into insights, concepts. So that's why I made this shift, and I decided to join a beauty industry, which I love. I think that, of course, you need to be organized and to know how to multitask, but at the end of the day, this is something you learn how to. But what you really need to do is to be creative, and for that, you really need to have your eyes open, to be able to watch, to be curious, and to look to try to find in everyone and everywhere the beauty that we all have inside and that nature has itself. The biggest challenge I have faced in work, for me, it was the language, actually, because I arrived to Paris thinking that I was going to jump into fashion, which is way more international, I'd say, depending on the brand, of course. And at the end, I decided to go on beauty to L'Oréal, to Cacharel, so super French. And on top, my projects, which are based with the labs, with the development, are super French people. So I'd say that my biggest challenge was really to learn a language from the scratch that I didn't know, that I've never learned before. But at the end, I wanted so badly that I'm still learning, but I'm about to succeed in this. For me, I'd say, maybe because I'm too young, that my key moment of my career, the moment I was the happiest, let's say, was the first time I saw my baby, so my first product that I developed from the scratch. I created the concept, I created the fragrance, and at the end of the day, you see the launch, you see it everywhere on Sephora, everywhere on Galeries Lafayette, on Instagram. So for me, I remember it as the biggest success somehow, my biggest moment, because it was my first product and I will always remember it. I think it's also a kind of tricky question because there's no typical day. I could say, for instance, Monday and Tuesday, 2 days ago, we were on shooting all day long. But 2 weeks ago, I was in Italy on the factory supervising a production. So I'd say it's super dynamic and there's no one typical day. The best advice it's ever given to me actually comes from my dad. So he's a dreamer by excellence, and he's always told us to really dream, even though dreams at the end sometimes do not get fulfilled, to always dream, because it's the ambition at the end and it's what moves us, to really dream high, make the most that we can to achieve it, and if it's not happening, whatever, we try the best and we still have this happiness and this willingness that someday, eventually, could happen. The advice I'd give to a young girl today, actually, it would be not to be afraid, not to compare to other people and not to try to be like, just try to be yourself. Because I feel that today, and I see it in my young sister, that we do have social media, we do have many fake lives, so just try to live yours the best way that you can, try to be yourself the best way you can and be the best version of yourself without comparing to anyone else. I say the most challenging part at the end of the day of my job is that for 2 years now I need to think on different concepts for Christmas, summer, Valentine's Day. So at the end of the day, the first year I had many different ideas for Christmas, but then only one gets approved. So for the next Christmas, you need to come out at least with 4 more ideas, and none of them can be repeated versus the year before. So at the end, you need to always, as I was saying, be creative, keep thinking, and keep being disruptive. And also to do something that is never before seen, no competence has been doing, so it's a bit challenging. I think we all do have a role to play. I started as intern, and even when being intern at L'Oréal, I felt that my job, either I was doing it, either no one else would. So we all have our role to play, both in perso and in professional way. Professional way, of course, because at the end of the day, all products will be out there and we can generate big impact. But also with the values that we have, we can share them behind on social media. A huge voice, the one that we do have at L'Oréal, to spread our values worldwide, to be open and to really, in my case, as it's Cacharel, inspire young girls, help them and really accompany them and make them, we say, the safe space where they can be. I have 2 different ways of role models. So one is my dad, is the one that I've grown up with. He's always helped me to dream, challenge myself, to be the best version of myself, and has helped me in a way to really accomplish every dream that I was having. And his example is also of a person that fights for what he wants, really puts the effort, and at the end, sometimes, not always, but he managed to succeed. And another role model that I have is Mother Teresa from Calcutta. I love her because I think that it's only one person that, as we were saying at the beginning, one person can really make the change, can really help everyone. And when you see how one person made a huge impact that she made worldwide in terms of helping the poorest of the poor, in terms of taking people from the streets, it's something that for me she's a role model in terms of helping others, in terms of being kind, in being thankful of what we have, and it's a huge example of how one person can really change the world.